So here, before we got into the court, I explained them that what we're going to do with the warm-up is we're going to start with the mini court, and then we are going to follow it up with some minutes at the baseline, followed by a couple of minutes cross, followed by one person going at the net, warming up volleys and overheads when the other is hitting at the baseline, followed by the other person. And now I'm going to speed up the warm up. So I'll show you glimpses of everything from mini court to baseline to cross and volleys. just so that we can save the time limit. Here, when I'm talking to them, I'm telling them the importance of one, the contact point of where we would want while warming up the volleys, and then the follow through afterwards. So in the overheads. So it's important for us to have a proper stance, and then it's important to have the contact point in front as we are doing the volleys. And then it's important to have a proper follow through when we are hitting the overheads. Even while he's warming up right in front of me, I'm reinforcing the fact about the ball being wanting to be in front of him, and then that at the mistake that his stance was not proper. His setup needs to be proper. So it's just constantly reinforcing the fact in one or two words as to what needs to be done or what is wrong, and it needs to be corrected at that point in. Same goes for Harrison here. Um, I was communicating with him, standing behind him, as to how the ball needs to be in front of him, and then this setup is actually pretty good all the time. Thus, his only focus should be the contact point for the ball to be in front of him, and that he needs to move according to where he's hitting the ball. So here I'm communicating with them that what we are going to do now is we're going to be playing a game to 10 where we are going to switch our feeds according to how we would do in a tie break with the serves, and then it's a game to 10, basically just open play for me to observe as to how and what we are going to be working on today moving forward, and reinforcing the fact about how much it can help with moving forward towards the net and attacking a weakness. So here I ask for the feedback about the game, and rightly so, they both mentioned a couple of things that were interesting, which is Damien mentioned about not being able to take enough control of the points and move in, whereas Harrison rightly so mentioned his aggressiveness and willingness to pounce on a weak ball and then move forward, taking the advantage that he was given. Here, before we got onto the court, I told them that the first progression to our skill development is to be working on transition balls to follow up to the net. So for transition balls, it's very important to have the contact point in front and then having a good follow through to move up. And we started with two sets of five balls on deuce side, and I was constantly reinforcing the fact about having a good contact point and a good follow through. And afterwards, we did the same two sets of five balls on the head court as well. Just gonna take it out as we don't have enough time to edit on the clip. So here I talked with them and we moved on to our next progression, which is the transition balls plus the first volley, which should be going on to the opposite side of where they're hitting the transition ball. So here Damien hit a backhand down the line, so he hit the first volley on in the open court. Same goes for Harrison doing now. He hit forehand down the line, and hit the first volley should be going cross. He did not end up in a good setup there. Thus, he ended up messing up with the contact point. So that was the next progression where we did 15 repetitions on the due side, followed by 15 repetitions on the edge side, and then they slowly started notching up the accuracy moving forward. And the whole time, and before we started onto this drill, I communicated with them that this is basically them attacking a weakness, and being accurate is also important at the same time. Here, after the second progression, I called them in and asked them for their feedback and thoughts on the progressions, and started off with Harrison, and he mentioned that the the intention that we had, because I communicated with them before that when you're trying to hit the first volley, it's important to guide it in a manner where it's further away from the opponent, so that since they are the ones who are attacking a weakness, they should be on a significant advantage to win the point. And thus, after both of them in our conversation, they understood that when they wanted to do that, it was a lot important for them if they were doing it with having a proper intention behind it, and the fact that I reminded them as to why this needs to be done in a certain manner, where hit the ball down the line and then the first volley on the open court by wanting to uh, keep the ball away from the opponent gave them a lot more confidence as to moving on to the next progression, plus a lot more confidence as to how they wanted to hit their transition ball, but not wanting to too big on the volleys. Here I demonstrated what the next progression is, which is we're trying to go middle 50% of the court, and whenever either one of us recognizes a short ball, we are going to use that move ahead and then look at the opportunity to do the same what we did in the drill, which is to hit an approach ball and then close in and hit the volley on the open court. And then after a few trial points, we moved on to playing the third progression in form of a game to seven. So before moving on to the final progression of the day, I asked for their feedback on the previous game and decided to incorporate serves and returns in the next one, while giving an incentive to the an incentive of an extra point to the person who recognizes the opportunity of attacking a weak ball and then moving forward, regardless of the result of the point. And here they are going to play um, game to seven with the incentive. Here I have kept the whole game to seven, for you to just get an idea that as compared to the start of the session, we saw a tremendous improvement in looking for opportunities to come to the net after attacking a weaker ball. So once we were done with the game to seven, um, I brought them over, asked them for the feedback over of the whole session, and one thing they mentioned was that this This session helped them get better with the with judgment of what a weaker ball should be and their ability to attack on those weaker balls and eventually recognize it as an opportunity to take advantage over the opponent. And as we can see from the start towards the end, that there were a lot of opportunities taken to come in, and over the whole session, the we took good care of managing the technical side, which was the contact point and the follow through with the shorter balls and the volleys, and then with the tactical parameters with attacking the weakness. And here I had a discussion with them towards the end about, while we were stretching, about just how their weekend is going to be looking like. While we had some discussion of some Power for conferences and creating a bracket for the men's tennis Power for championships.